Welcome back on Quest for the Best. We're picking it right up on the Go Fast Vehicle Aggro, sitting on a 3-0 record, and we'll see where we can get to on this Quest for the Best X2 record. That is, we play until we receive our second loss, then the deck's eliminated. We're also having the deck deletion ceremony where we're going back and deleting the deck once it's eliminated, and we'll bring it back, we'll revive it, we'll embalm it, if you will, when Amonkhet drops later this month. But this is kind of our swan song to the format, and hopefully we can get through all the decks we have. I think we can, and here we go. Off to the races. This hand is good, not great. When you're on the draw, you want a removal spell, but you really can't get rid of a Heart of Kiran, so here we go. Let's see if our opponent's ready for this. They are going to kick the party off with a renegade map. They know where those renegades are. Well, they will next turn. Next turn they're going to untap, sacrifice it, and they'll know where those renegades are. Those rebel scum. Alright, black-blue says Syndicate Trafficker, so a black-blue artifact deck can be a pain in the butt for our Go Fast version of this deck. But we'll put it to the test if our draw is deemed worthy. More Amonkhet references for you. So let's see, Trafficker's probably going to punch us in the face. How much will it punch us in the face for? There's an enthusiast. So one of the best ways to go at these vehicle decks, if you are wondering, is to attack them, as vehicles are not great blockers. They really prefer to be getting aggressive. So, let's see. His clock is... His clock is a bit intimidating, but I think our Heart of Kiran in the air is better. So we can go motorist, the next turn we can scrounge and selfless, and then the turn after that we can harvest and another 2-drop if I find one, or we can find a 4-drop. So let's see what we scry to the top. Don't need lands. Do we want that 4-drop? Is that fast enough? 5, 5, 10. It could be. I don't know that we need Pia. It doesn't fit our curve. It is a really good card, though. I guess it's our 5-drop of choice, right? I'm actually going to keep both here, because Pia does come out on 5 pretty well if our opponent is still alive. I think I kept them in the right order, but we'll find out next turn. We do want to make sure we fit a Selfless Spirit into that curve, probably the same turn as the Pia. Alright. So if we lose the game, it's probably because I scryed badly, as it always is when you get to scry in a close game. Opponent brings the house. No surprise there. Is it time to hold up a removal spell is the question. Walking Ballista. That can ping off the vet. That's okay, I think. So we don't want to cruise this turn. We probably want to put out Scrounger and Selfless, because he'll have to deal with that. Alright. But if we put out Selfless this turn, he can kill it. No, he'll want to untap. He will want to untap. We can do it after, though. We don't have to do it first main. I don't think we can get him to make a move, but you never know. The race is quite close, but he has to be careful. I don't think you want to pitch that ballista right now. Okay. You don't have to pitch that map right now either, unless he's really set on thinning. I'd almost want to keep it around, though, to pump the Trafficker. Maybe he has Skyship, and he's just chomping at the bit to play it. We don't have lethal for next turn. Not yet. That's a big play. Yeah, that might be game. We'll see. Depends on if he can handle harvester. He didn't have a follow-up. That's fortunate. Yucky yuck. But Brawl's expertise. Excellent card. And, yep, knew about you. You don't go well with harvester yet, but maybe next turn. And I guess we use spirit to make it indestructible? Or is that bad because of... Does ballista make that bad? If he goes 4 mana, put a counter, tag spirit, activate, sack, indestructibility. Is that better or worse than having a scrap heap sitting? And can he kill me? 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of the neat things is what I block with harvester. Does it have to be indestructible? He can make that, he can sack 2 artifacts to trafficker to take it out, so I guess I do need to. Although having a scrounger out, this is tough. This is really close. I think it's selfless here. Although he probably runs Fatal Push, so I may need that in the clutch to come out at the end of the game. It's so close. I'm going to go with the scrounger. There may be a situation where to get through a removal spell we have to use selfless to accrue and gain indestructibility. We are in a bind. There's the push, okay. See if he has another removal spell. If he does, then it was a big mistake. Battle at the bridge. Yeah, I guess that's a mistake. So, let's see here. We lost to a syndicate trafficker, tinker, ballista, Brawl's expertise. That's a really sick curve. So, bravo to opponent. You win. I can handle that. Being on the draw, we were slow and we didn't have a removal spell. It happens. You gotta be willing to accept that on vehicles. At least this version. That's why I like the mid-range one better, to be honest. Yeah, you hate running into, especially like black-blue mid-range decks. It's probably the bane of the very, very aggressive vehicle existence. And let's see if this deck gets retired early. It's now on the bubble at just 3-1. I did say that ladder-wise, I don't expect an all-in aggressive deck like this to go that deep. Usually mid-range is a much better place to be on ladder most of the time, since you can switch gears from one thing to another. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see how far we get. And also blue-black, kind of artifacty mid-range is exactly what currently holds the top record at 12-2. Kind of giving itself more ammo for the fire by winning that matchup. Okay. Bomat. Get to work. I also, it's worth saying that because the last card in the blue-black artifact deck's hand was Battle at the Bridge, that it didn't matter whether I played Selfless Spirit or Scrap Heap Scrounger that turn. Indestructibility on the Harvester would not have stopped Battle from killing it, so I was dead either way. Oh boy, Servo Schematic doing God's work, shutting down a Bomat courier. That might be helpful, that Aether Hub, in getting back Scrounger, but right now it's not doing anything. We'll see what we want to do with our next turn. No vehicles makes the hand a little shabby. Okay, we're gonna be like that. I'm ready for that. Good old Tezzy touch. Reach out and touch me. Psh, psh. That's enough land. I don't know what's going on with that these days. Just Flood City over here in red white vehicles in our game so far. The last game was actually very acceptable, but it's been weird how many games I've drawn like 8 lands with this deck. Give me that. Thank you. What else you got? Did you keep your whole hand based on that big kaboom combo? More schematics. Hallelujah. Nothing I like more than a bunch of 1/1s and something like a dockhand taking up the board. Oh, he's getting the aggro. I see how it is. I see what's up. Like, take that. Okay. Bring it. No thanks. I'm definitely fine with him tapping his board down to use a dockhand. Like, I think that card is a tad wretched. If he wants to time walk himself to get the perfect card into his hand, we'll try to make him pay for it. Whirler Rogue's pretty good though. That's gonna be tough to beat. Me no likey. And he wants to go aggro. Did he miss something? I think he missed something. I don't think he should be racing me. I think that's a really bad call. But I guess it depends on his hand. Maybe he has Battle at the Bridge or something of that nature. It just feels really odd that he'd race me when he has such a advantage on the board and a dock hand to make his future draws better. Yes, I want to use this ability. Hello. And we'll take that out. I think I'm going to take out his rogue. If I take out his rogue, I get in for at least 6 or 7. Puts him on notice. And then if I have Gideon, he's going to feel like he has to attack Gideon. So I think that's right. And I think he will regret this race that he elected to participate in. If he wants to attack and kill Gideon, that does not bother me. That means he can't block with those tokens. So this is the place where making a knight with Gideon is just as much a tempo play. And the spires for the extra attacker if we need it. He has Battle at the Bridge. He doesn't have great targets. Enthusiast will make some chumps. He's just all the tokens all the time. Uh-huh. 3/3, then he goes block, 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 and I guess he can stay alive. But that's what you want to do. You want to get his tokens to where they have to chump, and then just hope he runs out of token makers. Gonna be. You got something else? Nope. Toolcraft. I very much want to play you too, but if I play Toolcraft here. True. With that, remove one blocker. And go block, block, and take 4. Is it better to attack with spires? Or is it better to keep building the board? I guess I have to keep building the board because I do have to eventually kick through all this crap. I wonder if he'll try to trade with bomat. I guess if he does, I can discard. Or I can just plan to cash bomat by playing the stop to arrest now. I kind of like that. Not the best arrest of my life, but one does what one can. Keep the pressure high. Fatal push in the house. Well, that's a good last card to have. I hope he just drew it. He definitely should have played it earlier if he had the chance. Probably ahead of curving out with the Whirler Rogue, to be honest. Uh-huh. Huh. Give me some cards. Nice. That's really good. I was hoping I'd draw that. So 2 games, 2 blue-black artifact decks, and it seems like whoever got to start attacking first is usually the boss. But let's see, this one's not over. Sure. Okay. Great draw. How to play this? Anything to be said for slowing this down? I don't think so. All right. Lets those get exiled. Don't like that. Should have crewed that copter. But maybe he's worried about sorcery speed removal. Here comes copter. But that's going to take another blocker off the field, which leaves him not dead. Okay, I'll resolve that trigger. Oops, meant to accept that concession. Nothing like drawing the removal spell when you're on the front foot. It's always feels like cheating in its own way. So another Whirler Rogue. Keeping it wide, but I believe all we have to do is fire up the spire. Yeah, that's all. Sneak in for that last point. So this time we managed to overcome the blue-black artifact menace. There are a lot of ways to build that deck. I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. And being on the play and being on the board early, of course. Whoever gets to do the attacking is probably in a good spot. The AI going nuts. Making unblockables. Okay, we move up to a 4-1 record. Let's see what we can get next. Still on that bubble. A lot of good players out today. A lot of rank 40s. More than average, one would say, as typically we do get the Xbox matchmaking in there. So when you get to play against 2 or 3 rank 40s in a row, you get really happy about it on Xbox. It's pretty fortunate. Feels good. I spoke too soon, but you never know what'll happen. You never know. He's got Black Lotus sleeves. Means he's in pretty good place, but his hand is rather excellent. Rather excellent. The aggressive version of Vehicles, this card continues to just outperform. It's kind of crazy. The opponent's so busy like dealing with all your other stuff that this can draw you cards a lot more often than you'd think. So the good question is, I think next turn is probably motorist to try to find a red land, but we'll see what we draw. Not a red land, so yeah, we need to try to scry into one pronto. Although I could wait another turn to try to do that, as I might just draw one naturally, and then I wasted my scry. No, I think I lose this game if I don't find red mana, and this gets me the earliest chance to go find some. So that's what we'll do. There's some red mana. And a removal spell seems perfect in this situation. Red-green. Red-green do nothing thus far. Let's see if it holds. There's our mountain. Exactly where we left it. So I know I have a declaration stone on top that I want to draw, so I don't want to play the motorist. I think we'll just try to curve him. Walk right into that radiant flames with our head held high. Exquisite Firecraft, okay. Okay. He's worried about me drawing cards. I guess you have to be at some point, but I'd be worried about my life total. Ooh. Hey. Oh, I know what happened. The Declaration Stone is under there. I forgot about that. I'm usually pretty good about that, but this time I forgot. Bad Dan. Bad work. Alright. Go. I'm going to play the other motorist, I think, and I'm going to look for a 4-1 or something, like a 4-drop, a Gideon or a Fleet Wheel Cruiser would be best. Yet in Kiran I don't have the mana for. I guess depala's awesome. Depala's pretty gas here, so. And we'll put out the Selfless Spirit for that Radiant Flames protection. And now we're just saying, lethal, what you got? Their first play was an Exquisite Firecraft on 3. And they do something on 4. Grove Rumbles. Don't think that'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, still dead. Alright. I think we just turn him sideways. Quick and brutal. quick and brutal. 5-1 is the record. March on. Closing in on that grand Play 100 artifact quest. I know that those huge quests are kind of crazy, right? Because they do take several games to achieve. It feels like they should pay like huge gold amounts, like 300, 500 gold for a quest like that, but no. Or, you know, you build a deck that just drops a ton of artifacts like the EA's Revolution decks, and you accomplish it really quick, but you should be rewarded for that too. You built a deck just for that quest. I think they should be 300 or 500 gold quests. That's my opinion. Pass it on up the ranks. Somebody tell the wizards folk. Hatred 666. This person sounds like they have issues. This hand is sick. Let's see if he can deal. And these are the hands that Vehicles gets. That makes you just feel like, ugh. Just that good. Ridiculous. Hope you don't have too many of them tap lands in your hand. You'll want to interact quickly with this. Hanzo says they should make it easier for those Xbox rank ones. I feel bad whenever I crush them. Well, there's two things you can do. Now, you can't fix Xbox matchmaking. It's not your fault, okay? That's not your fault. Oh, there's actually three things, and I've tried all of them. But number one, you do have to know it's not your fault. So the things that you can do about the situation is, one, you can give them gold. You can navigate the game to a place where you're going to win, if that's important to you, and you can give them gold. Or you can just concede right away so that they get the gold and go try to find a different game. So that's something you can do. Another thing you can do is block them. After you play against the rank 1 or connect to it, you can pull it up on Xbox and block so that you don't connect again, so you don't play them a second time. So that's an option too. And the third option, if you feel bad, let's see. Third option for if you feel bad about winning. I would just highly recommend try to get to a zen place where it's not your fault. It's really not your doing. You shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't have to feel bad. I understand feeling for the other person. I am not a totally heartless monster. But try not to let it bug you too much. Gorge and another sage. So red-green energy, that's on kind of the slow train. And those sages are gonna feel bad if they want to block. Yeah, you should D up. The right call. Okay. And concession. Okay. That was that. As soon as he couldn't attack, he's like, peace, I'm out. Alright, 6 and 1s. Got our 15 red spells cast. And now we've got a vampire-looking dude. Let's see what they throw at us. I'd like another hand like the last one, please. The vehicle deck gets that kind of draw all the time. If you can make it a consistent machine doing things like that, you're not gonna... That's why people, I think, fear vehicles the most. I had to bring up that we were having a bunch of good matchups earlier, didn't I? This is too slow and too many lands. This is too many removal spells, but it might just be a game of apprentice, scrap heap, clear the way, clear the way, clear the way, so we can at least put it on our opponent to kill our creatures. And if they're playing anything further up the curve, if they're going like 3-drop creature, 4-drop creature, 5-drop creature, we just kind of smash right through them. But no, it's 1-drop creature. With lifelink, we might add. It can be a bit of a pain. At least it makes stalling easier, but you won't be ready in combat. Ooh, yeah, I like you. Down to 18, up to 19, but he's 1 lower on life, so it's a good trade. We're the aggro deck. We want him 1 lower on life if we can. Hopefully Copter can help us fix our draw a bit here, as it's a bit of a clunker. I need to even be reminded what you are. It's a loot when you deal damage, right? And skulky. Okay. So it only helps them in direct combat attacking us, and our plan is to attack them, so that'll make the whole thing easier. Let's try to get to a land, shall we? Oof. Thud. With only 2 creatures, I don't feel like I want to be handling a second vehicle right now. Oh yeah, I'm back for more land screw. That's BBB jumping in chat to ask if that's why I'm back, and I am. I'm here to get land screwed. It's okay, kinda deserve it. I played turn 1 apprentice, turn 2 copter. If you can't handle a little land screw after a start like that, then you're just a whiny crybaby. We'll use that term. And I'm glad I didn't keep the harvester. I'd have a hard time crewing it now that I'm down to 1 creature. One of our 4-drops in the deck. Any land off the top will put us in a much better spot. Any creature off the top is welcome too. You can join this party. I sound saltier than you do nowadays. I'll work on it. I haven't been getting enough sleep. That's what I'm going to blame. All right, what would you like to do, indulgent one? Got a swift wing. You're going to use it for? Never stop attacking. Let's see. Yeah, just not worth it. Just not worth it. Better to be patient than use your removal spell on a low value target for almost no reason other than I don't know what to do with my mana and I'm bored. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. Definitely not winning this race, Vampire Master. And he's out. It appears our opponent was operating under attack or die rules. All right. 7 and 1. Almost 100 artifacts. So close to our 120 gold quest. Siege Dragon, who plays on iOS and is one of my regular viewers, he says, I just got screwed by the triple Titan strength. Oh, sometimes you screw the triple Titan strength when you have a fatal push, and sometimes the triple Titan strength screws you. Oh man, this is not good. Not good. Need a vehicle off the top. But we do have a way to try to find it. But on the draw against blue-red, this is not good. Perhaps Grixis. Like, this hand is not what you want against a deck full of Grixis-y things. So, could we be at the end? We're at 7 and 1. We're on the bubble. A loss knocks out the red-white aggro vehicle deck. BBB says, I throw logic out the window against these decks. No point in guessing what they run when you fail to play around complete disregard. Maybe you have a point. Maybe you have a point. No fear. Alright. I think what I'll do is let that set up the future, and I'm going to use motorist this turn. This way, I show him I'm capable of bluff attacking, but his next block may not be a good one. I'm going to put the plains on the bottom. The only thing I need it for is Gideon, and I don't want more lands clogging my draw right now. I'm much more likely to draw another white source than I am to draw Gideon. Tutelage! Well, it's on. It's on. I wonder if he has Radiant Flames or Cozy Return. But this hand doesn't do anything else, so holding back, no point. No point. So next turn, hopefully we can punk out his thing in the ice and just keep rolling. That either of those would have been very nice. Wow, visions. Fearless. Guy is fearless. All right. Down goes a motorist. Not waiting till my turn. I would have definitely wanted to do that at instant speed. You never know what you might need that for. Copter. What's the line? I do think it's time to say goodbye to Thing in the Ice, but I think we also want to resolve Copter. We'll lead like this. Attack like that. Yep. So notice that playing the Copter first main left me with only 1 red mana open. I didn't want him to be thinking about the options I'd have at 2 mana. And possibly not playing around them. He hasn't played around them yet, but that's just a good practice to get in, as if you can try to throw your opponent off with your play. BBB says this opponent just lost to tutelage in his last game and is taking it out on me. I will admit that is a thing. Whenever I lose to tutelage, I almost immediately run out and grab a tutelage deck to try to beat up my opponent with. So the scrying off motorist here isn't very good. It really isn't. Scrying off motorist here basically is what the tutelage is going to hit. We will get a draw step. Actually, we get 2 draw steps here. One from copter, one from, if it, gets to attack, and one from the motorist. So maybe the scry isn't bad. I don't know what you're talking about, Siege Dragon. His text to me is funny. I don't know. Let's see. Is it depala? Is it the motorist? Either one gets... I think it's the motorist, because the next turn depala pumps the motorist and or the copter. Alright, let's see here. Maybe he's thinking about using fumarole. I don't know. Resolve the scry. So we're going to get to draw, so I can switch that for that, and then this comes off the top, so I like it. Again, assuming I get to attack. If not, that's a pretty bad scry. But he'd have to have axe to take care of this. Let's put it into the test. Looks like I get to loot. If he removes it now, I'm going to feel bad for him. Don't want to let me loot. Unless, wait, he is trying to mill me. Maybe his thinking is that he's going to mill me. All right, he's going to take out an apprentice. Does he have a plan for the scounger? He's just scared of it coming back, but I don't have the mana to do that. Now I get to do this. And again, I'm just going to throw the book at him. I find his ability, I'm just going to make him find a way to sweep this board. He could have Chandra, but I don't think sitting back does me any good. Get some cards. Gideon, bye-bye. Alright, 2 Geist Blast. A Geist Blast and Mountain Down, a Cathartic Reunion. Maybe he's going for the desperate lethal mill out. Hits Pia Kiran, hits a double, Thopter Arrest, Toolcraft, Selfless, Paraplanes, Collective Defiance. Milling himself, he's just going for it. Yep, trying to race. Oh, discards a tutelage. If he had time to deploy the second tutelage, this may have worked. I've milled people from a ridiculous amount from second tutelage. a lot of pairs in there. Blue-red control could do with that new 3 damage sweeper. Yeah, mostly because it cycles. I'm looking forward to that for my blue-red control deck. Oh, show. Alright, we should have this. I'm just going to make sure I line it up to the best of my ability. Alright, took it. Sweet. We improved to 8 wins, 1 loss. Running down the dream. The Amonkhet spoiler. Let me see if I can find that red sorcery really quick. We can talk about that one since it got mentioned. So this one is called Sweltering Suns. I'll put a link for you guys in chat. But it's a 1 red. It is rare. Yeah, I think that's rare. And it is a sorcery. And it deals 3 damage to each creature, so it's like Anger of the Gods, but it doesn't exile, and then it cycles for 3. And that's the biggest problem with sweepers, is when they're just, you really don't want them in certain matchups. But with cycling, you can put in your draw go and feel great about it. We maxed out our gold, go figure. I'm going to be right back, quick break. Thanks for hanging in there. I tried to make that quick. How we doing? So again, we're sitting on 8-1. That's already a decent record. It's already better than Esper Control, although I'm sure that Vehicles doing better on ladder than Esper Control isn't a big surprise. Better than the mill deck, better than the green-white vehicle tokeny thing. Not better than T-Merge or Snakes. Or wait, yes, it's better than Snakes. It's not better than T-Merge or blue-black artifacts. And if you're wondering about the decks and their records and what they've done, you can scroll down, and on my channel feed, I post every deck and its record once it has completed its walk up the ladder. BBB, so you're expecting Sweltering Suns, question mark. I didn't say that. I'm not. I'm not expecting anything. I'll just be happy if I receive it. I'll be excited if I do receive it. If not, I can go play Standard. Though I probably won't, because I like duels a lot more. This hand is not magical, but I think I have to try it. Sorry about that. I got randomly removed from my own party. Do you prefer Sweltering Suns or Radiant Flames? Radiant Flames in a 3-color deck, Sweltering Suns in a 2-color deck. That should be pretty straightforward for you. And possibly a mix in a 3-color deck. Double declaration, never good. Never good when your hand is already a bit of a clunker. Scounger, you got a long way to go, buddy. Triple green. Reclamation Sage. Never mind, Scrounger. You go take a seat on the bench. This might be one of those games. Our draws better start looking a lot better than that. First play out of the opponent is Reclamation Sage. You know you got problems. 99 problems. Reclamation Sage would be 3 of them. Concave Naturalists, or Conclave Naturalists, is probably 3 more. It just... Oh my goodness. Timberland. Go Timberland. Alright, big draw. Sitting around waiting for it. Reacher, please. Not today, not today. One of those games, ladies and gents. Mostly gents. I know this from my demographics. How's it gonna be, Rex Sage? How's it gonna be? Opponent in the tank. Veggies. It's time to eat your veggies. Okay. Now what? Yep. Not gonna worry about killing these things. They don't match up against Harvester or Spires. We just have to be ready to kill them if a Primal Bellow becomes an issue. So right now, I'm gonna play Control. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play Control, since that's what my hand is. Come on now. What's it gonna be? A solitary hunter? Sure. A quilled wolf, okay. We're getting real. And nothing. So I want to hang on to this as it's the best interaction at instant speed. So we'll just hang out. Ezo Pete's game. If I let this flip, what happens? 5-6. You. If I'm going to spend mana this turn, I should do the one that's the most expensive. If I'm going to take another bump here. We'll hold this up if he wants to activate that wolf. Next turn we can declare or harness and have spires ready, so he'll have to find a way to attack through that, which he may or may not have. But we'll find out this turn. I think the most obvious way is activating this wolf, which I'm ready to blow up. Hopefully he doesn't have another pump spell on top of it. Wouldn't surprise me in green, but we can at least force it out of him. Although that might just be lethal. So maybe I just don't do anything. Maybe I don't react to anything if he just attacks. Creeping mold. Okay. Like that, y'all. It's like that. Alright, you got your 3-4 back. Congrats. Yep. Okay, now we have to... Stupid game. Alright. Get you out of there. Could also kill his other stuff, but I still think I need the spires to do some blocking here. Oh. This is just weird. This game has been weird. And of course, of the lands I draw, none of them give back scounger, but I don't even have a second creature. I've only drawn one creature. I don't think my opponent has a pump spell, though, because that turn that he got brick-walled by Spires plus Harvester, he's had 2 turns to draw one, but I think we've seen what he's drawn. He's drawn Creeping Mold. He's drawn either the Wolf or the Hunter. That makes sense to me. Or I think he would have played them earlier instead of the Vegetation. Not like Vegetation has ramped him up to anything. Choices are hard. Uh-huh. Alright. Well, could lose to a pump spell, but I can't sit around. Like I said, I think I know what his draws have been. Pausing me, that's bad. Pretty bad. Appetite for the Unnatural's good. Of course he'd have that. Of course, why not, right? So any deck can beat Vehicles. With a draw like this, any deck can do the job. Alright. Probably dead. I guess I can make him attack right. But he will. Let's find out, though. Yeah, you're rooting for the seal? Yeah, me too, in a way. It's perfectly fine. I mean, this is obviously an absolute garbage draw. Not a lot I could do for it. Maybe the hand itself should have been mulliganed, but I don't think you can really anticipate top decking this way. Not to mention the absurdity of which he lined up some Rex Sages and Appetites, so bravo. And Creeping Mold, so triple artifact hate against my draw with no creatures. It's actually spectacular. It's okay, though. And Nissa, yeah, why not? Why not? Are you still rooting for the baby seal even though he Mythic planeswalked me? Just curious. I still am. It's fine. Yep, you got it. Good job. Vehicle deck retired by mono green 3-rank artifact hate. But that's about where I expected the deck to get to. I didn't really see it as a 12-2 type deck. Unless I was playing against all control lists. Like, that's one of the weird things about a super aggressive vehicle deck. It's awesome against rank 40 control lists. Because they all think they can handle vehicles, but they can't. Their curve's always too high. Alright. So we get to go destroy that deck. Which I am not depressed about at all. Alright. Mardu aggro, or really red-white vehicle aggro with just the scrap heap scoungers. You have failed this city. Do 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 do. Boom. So bravo to our opponent for knocking out the vehicles. Now what do we do? We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're starting to get to the mid-range and control decks, which are the ones I think will do the best. And I think what I want to work is green, either Abzan or green-black. Abzan or green-black. Let's have a look at this Abzan list really quick. I've witnessed so many deck funerals in CGB's stream, says Hanzo. Yeah, it happens. Try not to cry. He's got the crying face. Not worth it. It's not worth crying about. Most of these decks are more annoying than they are good. Yeah, so this deck is like the mid-range. I love this deck. One thing I love about the most is it secretly does most of its damage with lands. It's kind of a Sylvan Advocate deck because it's got the 4-man lands down here, and the best ones probably in Vent and Quagmire, and the ones that are cheapest to activate for sure, right? And then you just with 6 mana, you drop an Advocate and you swing with something bigger than they saw coming. It's kind of the secret of the deck. So I think we're gonna play this. I'm hyped for it now, so I'm gonna mute this really quick and write this down and come right back. Okay, I got that done. You can find the deck list below if you need it. And let's get it going with one of our heavy-hitting mid-range decks, which I expect should do well, but we'll see. We'll see. What it most wants to avoid is either extreme aggro when it has a clunky draw, or decks with a ton of counter spells. Those are the things that we most worry about. But decks like this, mid-range decks with some powerful mythics on the top end and removal spells and well-rated creatures on the low end, are best against the random field that is the ladder of probably Xbox or any other platform, really. You just don't know what you're going to bump into, but it's probably going to involve some creatures and some synergy, and the best way to break that up is some removal spells and some big top-end plays that are stronger than others. So let's see. I do think this one will crack 10 wins, but we'll see if I'm right. We'll put it to the test. This hand... my opponent seems to be down to 4. Against a 4-lander, I'm just going to keep, as 1-for-1 trades are probably just fine. I've made mistakes doing that before, but this deck does need a lot of lands to go. So keeping a 5-lander, you're more likely to with this deck than most things. And they're stuck on 1. So, yep, 1 win in the bag. And just a reminder, if you haven't been tuning in or forgot, we try to accept the concessions because we got a long way to go to play all these games with all these decks before the next set drops. So we got to get right on to the next one. I uploaded a video to YouTube with this deck. It was about a month ago now, maybe more. But I got a lot of good comments on it. Some people saying that it was the best deck that they've played with. I don't think it's that good. I think it has some pretty tough matchups. Among them, Super Friend type lists that kind of go a little bit bigger than this, and anything that's really focused on counters. But it was nice to get those kind of comments. And it probably does it does fuel my hopes that this will do well. AOD Vegas. Let's go. Yeah, all day. Second hand for opponent and keeping. 7v7, 40v40. Get hyped. Planes go could mean just about anything. And the advocate getting to work. Like I said, one of the secret key cards in the deck right here. When I have Last Hope and Nissa Vital Force, I think my opponents are often confused by how many times I'm regrowing my Sylvan Advocate, but it has there is a plan involved. So opponent puts out the Topen. Topen outclassed at the moment, but that could change. I think my play for the rest of this turn is Vastwood Seer and save the tracker play for next turn. Alright, got a question from another Xbox player. I don't know if he's watching my stream. If you're watching my stream, you can just comment in the comments, or maybe he's watching on Xbox. But he asked how Team Urge did. Team Urge finished at 11-2, which is currently second place. So that's where Team Urge finished up. Alright, opponent, you've shown me a Twin Bolt, but now you're probably thinking, if I attack with Topen and he blocks, do I want to use the Twin Bolt to take out the Advocate? I bet that's what's on his mind. Let's find out. I will definitely block. So he's going to bolt Nissa. Might regret that when he sees the tracker. Nissa is several turns from being a threat. And it looks like kind of a white-red throwback to Origins aggro deck going on. So this turn, do I want to trade my Advocate for his... for his token. I don't think I do. Like I said, Advocate's one of the secret weapons of the deck, so I'll let Advocate stay home, and we'll just clue up. And pass that turn. And things are sitting pretty. Our opponent will need some kind of a haymaker blowout to mess me up now. Thalia's Lieutenant ain't terrible. But I think if he wants to attack here, I'll be all for double blocking, I think. Because if I just keep the pressure off me, things only get better. He's got another Twin Bolt, so pretty good hand considering what you can do with that type of deck. So now what do I want to do? I think I can take this one. I was going to trade when I could trade a tracker for token, because it would basically be a 3-for-1. But I don't want to trade my Advocate for an Envoy. And next turn I can Declaration in Stone here, and then I can Reclamation Sage the Clue and have a better trade for Envoy, so we're going to take the damage. Doesn't matter that that becomes a 4-4 if it's about to be put in stone. The only way that this becomes super feel bad is if he drops something I'd have rather Reclamation Saged. Send in you. And then we're going to be looking for a land off the top. We're going to be cracking our clues probably to get there. So we might have to take next turn off, but our board position is fine. So I'm not too worried. We have 3 Rex Sages in the deck too, so I'm also not, and a Bellower can go get one, so I'm also not even that worried if he drops a vehicle of some kind. The worst thing would be a Chandra's Ignition, I guess. Opponent taking some time. It's going to send the Envoy. I will offer you a Sage. He has an effect, that's fine. Trading the Sage for an effect would almost be just as good as trading it for an Envoy. And an Irregulars. Okay. Well, that card can be a pain. And is one of the better things you could drop. But we drew the land, so we are clutch sauce. Do I want to trade my Advocate for an Irregulars? I guess I would, so we'll send it in and see what he does. Alright, so now the question is, Sorin for kill his Irregulars or Bellower have a monster board? I think it's hard to go wrong with him at 12 life with playing Bellower. And do we want to play around Declaration in Stone, or do we just want to grab another Advocate? I think we just grab another Advocate. I think if he had Declaration in Stone, he would have used it on the first Advocate by now. It's been a real pain in his neck. It's been too big for his Twin Bolts. Too bad we didn't draw any man lands on the train, but I guess we need untapped lands in a lot of spots, so it's all good. We've got a token. And a pass, probably. You want to attack? That would be pretty bold, my friend. Alright. There's a tracker down there. And a Nissa. Ooh, Nissa. So that's a good line for later. What's Soren do right now? I think him taking out the irregulars is fantastic. We don't need to plus him. We don't need the advantage. Only need to do this for 3. Though, what's that last card? If it were Titan Strength, he would have played it a turn ago. If he blows me up somehow that way. Let's see. Yep. Saw that coming. And I think we send the advocates. I guess I would trade either advocate for his lieutenant before it becomes too much bigger. Especially with him at 12. Down with the lieutenant. If he comes up with a removal spell, he's still short of killing Soren. Jailer. What? That's a little bit of left field there. Hold on. Yep. Just checking. Alright. Somebody pulled the jailer out for this game. Not one you see every day. Wow. Just rich getting richer. We did draw 3 of our 6 drops and the right amount of land to cast them. That's a pretty good draw on our part, so. Alright, what you got? How about now? Okay, concession. 2-0 to the Abzan, folks. And got another one right away. Sweet. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I got to enjoy the wonder that is the Fate of the Furious on Friday. Today I'm enjoying a day of mostly nothing to do. One of the beautiful weather here in northern Michigan where winter might be starting to release its icy grip. And let's see what this opponent can throw at us. That hand is not a keeper. That hand is also not much of a keeper. You really need a lot more land in these hands. But it does have removal. But not the right kind. Double and making is not what you want. Alright, there we go. This is probably a lot better. We do have to draw a good amount of mana sources, and we have the conundrum of how to Evolving Wilds, which I think it will be best just to wait and try to see what we draw into. Sure. I guess that did it. We drew 1 to a land, and now we know that we need to go get a plains. Two blue. Alright, get out there, Sylvan Advocate. Get to work. You are the deck's Superman. Card is so good. Fell off in standard for the last season and a half, but in duels, when we got this in I think it was Oath of the Gatewatch, it was like, well, the 2-drop spot for green is locked up for all eternity. We just didn't have anything that good. Now we need to draw an anguished unmaking or one of our 3 Rex Sages and get rid of that bestiary. But we don't have those cards yet. Not quite yet. We do have the 6 lands we need. We'll hold the wilds, threaten a revolting push. Opponent with blue lands and 1 white land, but no green lands, and just bestiary for scries at this point. Yep, still bestiary for scries, and we have a gear shift ace. Right? Let's go get our white mana and top deck Gideon. Surprise, surprise! Oh! Did anybody see that? Is everybody awake in chat? I think I just called my shot again. I think I just called my shot again. How many times have I done that on camera? We need a way to count that. Instead of a punt count, we need a some kind of a prophecy count of how many times I just call the top of my deck. I just summon the card I need. I have permanent Chord of Calling in my throat. Yep, some of you guys in chat saw that. You know I do this all the time, but it doesn't get old. I get excited. I still like knock myself out of my chair when I draw exactly what I ask for, especially a 1 of Mythic that I just fetched the right land for. Alright, interesting. So my opponent is doing an artifact, creature-y, I don't know. We're just gonna throw planeswalkers and other mythics at it until it dies, so. Sorry, opponent. That's what Abzan Mythics deck does. And now we drew just the right lands to curve as well. Brutal. So, you don't want to go in there. You'll get eaten by this 3/3 unless we kill it. I guess we have to, or else it will pressure my planeswalkers, so we can't have that. Five mana murder with a planeswalker that hangs out afterwards. And instead of attacking, no, I'll have 2 blockers, because I'll send in Advocate. So I'll have 2 blockers here, so I'll send Gideon in. I was thinking about not attacking with Gideon and making a knight to make sure that the gear shift ace couldn't take out Ob, but I'll have both this knight and the Sylvan Advocate because it has vigilance. He'll have to remove both of those to get to Ob. If that's how he spends his turn, I still have Gideon, and I untap and I have Sorin. Alright, opponent, do your worst. Just looking at the top card of our deck, is this a card that kills 2 planeswalkers for 4 mana? Maybe 5? If not, might want to go to the bottom. There goes the map. And what will come next? Oh, we've been slow rolling some black mana, I see. What can we do with that? Contraband Kingpin. So a little more on the artifact sub-theme. And a Topin Freeblade. Topin Freeblade runs things down here in the 5 and under rank. He's the end boss. No good attacks. So the opponent can live just fine, but we're basically going to be crashing in with all kinds of big, tough to deal with threats. Speaking of big, tough to deal with threats, yeah, it does make a 7/7, doesn't it? Abzan Mythics, assembling the gate watch here. And I can attack with the Sylvan Advocate too, because he can't put together a triple block on it or he dies. Stompings! Abzan Super Stomps! I went with not that it matters too much, but went with the Nissa line instead of the Soren line, just because it's a lot more assertive. If the game levels off, we can always play Soren and start plussing, but this is one of those plays to force him into bad trades, as those create card advantage. Yay! Angelic Destiny, of course, on the lifelinker. How did I not see that coming? It's got 8 toughness. But I think he's just dead if he swings. Yeah, but you can't sit back either. You really can't. So can't fault him for attacking. Power up by the power of Grayskull. And that's some of that Abzan Mythics. 3-0. And looking for a challenge. So let's see who's next into the arena. Abzan is one of the decks I never enjoy running into. Parenthesis, this is salty, by the way. Salty what? Got a different name? Oh, Salty Kylo Ren. Right on, Rex. Hello. Welcome. Let's see who we've got here. Oh, same player. I guess I should have blocked him after the last game. Not really a fair fight, this one. But it's matchmaking. Matchmaking is brutal, and maybe he'll have better luck this time, although we have Gideon again. I'll put that out and see if he has a 1-drop that I want to go get a black source for, although it's really likely we'll get a black source. If I draw one, though, off the top, maybe we go get a white so we can play Gideon. Okay. Still nothing to make that decision for me quite yet. And there's Topin. So yeah, we'll go get our black source. We may not get to cast Gideon on time this time. but it should be okay. Think about what we saw last game. I didn't really see anything to stop me from blocking. So I'm just going to put this out there and see if he can somehow move it or remove it. We can always fatal push it later if he has an answer for ayli. And this time our opponent's missing blue mana. Thinking about the attack. What's that tell us? There must be something in his hand that could do something with the attack step, but maybe not. Alright, well, go. See what he has. Okay. So we're stalling on land a little bit. Need to draw one, but if we draw a white land, we have Gideon. If we draw a black land, we're set up for double black stuff. That's an interesting card. Well, he's probably in a much better position to use it than I am. And that means I should blow it up. Let's go ahead and get you dead. Save the anguish unmaking, even though it's more efficient for potentially something else, since we're going to use our Rec Sage here. We want that versatility, hit target permanent. Well, let's see, he's not going to use this next turn. Now, I still could. So I don't think I need to Rec Sage it right this minute. We drew another basic forest, which is the worst land we could have drawn, as it doesn't give us double black or turn on Gideon. But it's okay. I certainly had a worthy draw last time. I can stand for a bit of clunk this time. Bit of awkward, as they say. Yeah, I'm kind of laughing at... Okay, so he's a 4-color deck. What do you know? 4-color... I don't know what to say about this deck. Alright, you got those. Their tracker. Now I feel like I do have to blow this up. If I don't, he'll start drawing 3 pretty soon. It's really tempting though to try to draw a card here, but I think the discipline play is just to take Kid out now before my opponent gets the chance to somehow draw 3. Viagrasaurus Rex asks if this guy is rank 1. Oh, you know it. We on Xbox. It's a rank 1, all right. Just prove it. Boom. 4-color Girper Ori. Defining the meta. Hey, there's another artifact. See if he fires that up and throws it at me. If he does, I think the block is the Rec Sage. Get a Rec Sage 2 for 1. Even though we take 5, I think that's alright. I think we're sitting purdy. Purdy. Yeah, and if I'm in his seat, I don't know that I have any good attacks, but you have to get these guys out of the way somehow. So throw in the Dragster. You know about the Planeswalkers from last game, so I think maybe you have to save the Dragster for Planeswalkers. I don't know. Names with Rex in them, names of champions. And by the way, that is a comment from Sunset Rex. So, right on. I think we can go ahead and go like this as our best blocks here. We still have 4 cards in our hand. Our opponent doesn't have any, so we're going to just try to draw into the right lands and we should be good. Plus we still have answers. There's a good land to draw. To the battlefield tracker. Go get our second white. So many clues. So little time to crack them. But we may not even have to play anything else this game. We may just grow our tireless trackers and get out of control. Gotta wonder what the splashing is all about. I mean, the green I kind of get, right? He had a bestiary in there, so maybe it's just to draw some cards. The blue, he had that Jwar Isle Avenger. I think that was all, though. But you never know. Don't try to make sense too much. Yeah, that's not a trade I'm taking. I'll just change my name for a day to Covertosaurus Rex, and then I can be a champion too. Like Rex Sunset and Viagrasaurus Rex, who are declaring their names amazing. Then I can join the cool kids. Alright, draw me some cards. Gonna need a second black for Ob. And that's a 10-point swing. Alright, your move. What are you gonna do? Big draw. Declaration in stone, give me more clues. Foundry Inspector it is. Although we just have Rex Sage Declaration Stone. This one is over. My opponent says he would rather die attacking than blocking. Respect. Fist bump. Alright, we'll just move that thing out of the way and call it. Alright, take another one. 4-0. Do the Abzan AKT3CH. Alright, no offense to that player, but we're going to block him just so we don't get paired against him for a third time. Not on the level. He not ready for this. We're not doing him any favors. He can't get gold going up against the Mythics. All right. Well, it's okay, Rex. It's okay, Sunset. Kylo Ren, it's okay. He never has to play me again. If he was traumatized by those last two games, they're over. He's never going to battle me on ladder again. It's all right. So we found Jace, or the Assassin's Creed brother, or Jace's really, really homeless, drug-addicted uncle in the wasteland. Let's see what we've got. SAFJU97. SAFJU97. Did I know this person? Or have I just played against this person a number of times, perhaps? Anyway, can't keep that. Can keep this? Not great. Slow, and we are on the draw, so it is slow and maybe too slow. What am I supposed to do? This is white, or at least that's the plan. So if that's white, I can't Liliana turn 3. So maybe I play it here and what? I don't know. I'd like to Liliana turn 3. And now I don't need it to be white because I drew the vent, so now I can go get black. Yeah, okay. Or, that won't do it either. No, nothing will do it. I guess if I go get the swamp, then if I top deck any number of untapped lands, I can Liliana. Now I don't want to Liliana anyway. What do I want this land to be? I guess I want it to be white in case I draw ayli. But I don't want Liliana there because it might just get run over by a caravan. And we can't have it. Can't have that. Grasp. Interesting land sequencing in this game. Now I would love to draw some of my artifact hate. 3 reclamation sages in here. Would be really great to have one for this. Or that. Piece of Pete's. Okay. And they missed their land drop, so we got a handful of spells coming at us. Ooh. We just spike you? I think we do. This may be a game we have to get over with if that spy network is going to be out there and be a problem. Alright, Gideon, do what you do. Turn up the heat. We do have Liliana for Thopter containment. Detail. The Gatewatch getting together, doing Gatewatch things. Oof. Okay. Okay. What to do? I can track her without a clue and have grasp. I can Liliana and pick at the Thopter menace. I can Ob and just start drawing cards and try to hit a sweeper. And a Rec Sage. That might be best, actually. Just keep on giving him planeswalkers to worry about. Oh man. Yeah. So I might lose Gideon this way, but c'est la vie. Right now I think we just have to kind of distract him and try to hit cards to deal with all this. Okay. Well, that's the way it's going to be. Because we have 3 Rec Sages, we have 2 Sweepers, we have cards in our deck that can fix this. Just right now, the draw isn't lining up. It's another clunky one. There you go. But let's just keep him busy and keep him off our life total, and we should be okay. We might lose some walkers in the process, but it's okay. Sometimes that's what they're there for. A little diversion. Yep. Well, he's not going to draw cards that way. So I am fine with this. And now we can have a Sage Grasp turn. Seems good. We can also minus Ob and kill the chief that way, but I don't like that. Yeah, we're gonna keep going up. The more of these that we draw, the better. That's good. We can use that with Revolt. Does that change anything? Then we have 4 mana? No, it doesn't change anything. Alright. You... Batman says, sup, noobs. Trash talking. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Play this, because we have a tracker we might get to do the double clue thing with. And say go. Still keeping back the knights because of the caravan, which he might crew up. Tahili Rai, let's see what you target. I would target the chief. Maybe it's the thopterist. Nope, he's just going up. Don't love that. I think you have to go down there, but, well, what do I know? Uh-huh. He's gonna go after Ob, and then probably after Face, and then we'll blow that up. Do you run Languish or the -3/-3? I run 1 Planar Outburst and 1 Yahenni's Expertise. So that's part of... I think you joined after this happened, but that's part of the philosophy of just throwing my Planeswalkers into harm's way to draw more cards and divert his attention. Okay. Now we're talking. Although right now I can't get a zombie off of him. We are the boss, though. Alright, draw me a card. Great! that's not bad. That's not... By the way, I run this, too. Don't know if you knew. That's not bad. I think I'll just throw the book at Saheeli here. So she can't copy a Maverick anytime soon. And he will take a trade with a knight, which I don't like. Well, I mean, I like it. I don't like him doing it. I wouldn't do it in his space, is what I'm saying. And now what do we do? Probably ballista, right? Wipe out 3 thopters. It seems really good. Alright. Do I want to save this for either the tireless tracker? I guess I can wait. I don't have to decide right now. We can decide on end step if we want to crack that or not. Batman of the adolescent mindset. When Roachman said nice pull, Batman said that's what she said. Play tracker evolving and keep it up for fatal push is Batman's line. It might be right. It's close. I don't know. There's a lot of options there. It's hard to say which one is bad. I think the one that's most likely to keep Obnixilus around is this one. But, I dig it. I understand. There's a few ways to go there. I'm not positive I got it right. Swamp comes down. Do we have more Thopter makers? What will we get from our foe? Hashtag Team Ballista. Word, dog. Alright, well, let's do this now. I guess, though, no, if I do this now, he can activate, he can crew the caravan, I think. If I activate it now, he crews caravan, he kills Ob anyway, but he kills Ob either way. So let's just use this now to reduce Thopter mania. And he should have crewed the caravan in response, but didn't. And he's got Liliana, so he didn't want to crew the caravan. Okay. Interesting. All kinds of interesting. So now I do want to fatal push this. So I'm going to leave the Evolving Wilds, and we're going to play Kalitas, and if I draw an untapped land, I can Tireless Tracker too, but it's not necessary. We definitely aren't in need of clues right now. Ayli. What's that do? Well, let's draw first. Okay. So you and black does that, and then I have an open. Yep. And then our spot is looking good. He's down to 2 cards. His hand probably isn't as rare and mythic as ours, which is, of course, the true test of any hand. Which one's more rare and more mythic? So, I don't know. I feel like that worked out. Even with him having a Lily and a Thopter. Now, he can pitch Lily, and he can go get something. Oh, okay, he's going to Gear Hulk me. What am I at, 14? What's the right play? I think I'm actually okay with giving him 3 cards. I mean, I'm not okay, but I think that one way to lose this game would be to make that mistake. And I do have life gain, but it could add up to 14. He has cards like he has these, what's the word I'm calling, improvised cards in his deck that could punish me a lot right there and just end the game. So he gets to draw. He gets to shrink Kalitas. We, to deal with that, by the way, have Liliana into Rex Sage. So that's not a big deal. Which, of course, makes us another zombie. Glorious. Okay. And we can play Ayli, so that's not terrible. Lift one, another one, of course. Need to have white available. Maybe I should just play this first. Yeah. Alright, there we go. More zombies. Down with the queen, Liliana. So we can't just Gear Hulk. Well, Gear Hulk's exiled, so he can't do it again anyway. Alright. Now we'll see if his 3 cards was really good or not. And if he runs some kind of sweeper in that deck. Seems unlikely, but man, you never know. Liliana does go down to a Thopter, sadly, but it's okay. Okay. Weldfast engineer. Maybe he's going to go after Ob? I don't know. You need your resources that are on the board right now. Playing the card advantage game is tough. You probably want to kill Lily anyway. Let's see. Well, he can send the caravan too, but I can just death touch it with ayli. So I don't think that's a smart idea. It's one of the more slower and more painful ways to lose a game of Magic while your opponent's plussing their planeswalkers every turn. And he still can't get rid of Kalitas, which is... that's a big deal. Like, that's really bad. Kalitas. Southern Kalitas, perhaps, if you will. Down goes Big Ob. He drew a ton of cards and did his job admirably. That's a good draw. That can say bye-bye to the 1/1s. That leaves Pia with nothing to pump. But maybe we're just supposed to send the house first. What happens if he blocks a 2/2? I guess I just sack it, gain some life, don't care. Yeah, let's just see what's left on the battlefield after we go after him. Time to turn the corner. Let's turn it in a big way. Batman is getting me some messages. He says, swing with the team and see what happens. Yeah, that's where I came down on the whole thing. Liliana can snipe something bigger this way. So we're not going to sack anything for the ayli life gain. We're going to let it deal damage so that Lily can pick that engineer. Yeah, you're gonna do something there? Okay. And let's get tracking. And I don't think I need to declare anything in stone. Not worried about it. He's got the foundry, so I'll wait until he uses it to declare the thopters, because there might be a lot more on the way. As the board is getting out of control. Welcome to Z Nation. Brains. You see, sometimes the planeswalkers, they're just the annoying thing that hangs around diverting your attention, while the creatures on the board and the lands themselves, once we draw Sylvan Advocate, just pound your face in. Kind of the beauty of the deck. It probably turns on a dime faster than most mid-range and control-ish decks. Maverick Thopterist. Yep, more Thopters. And he's leaving up 3. What's he going to do with this 3 mana, do you think? Trophy Mage. Okie dokie. Chief. I guess that's a 3 mana, so that's something worth trophy maging. So we gotta keep in mind that Chief is coming. Let's crack some clue here. But he has to preserve a board for Chief to be any good. Chief is no good on its own, so one way to ensure that doesn't happen is just to run him over. There's a big guy. He really doesn't have good blocks almost anywhere. Alright. So if I declare, he has 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, he takes 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's just, he's just dead. If I declare. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, it works. Checks out. And he doesn't have a way to sacrifice one of these to Pia. So, that's not going to work. Alright, let's get crunk, everybody. Ahoy! And that'll do it. Whew! I think that went pretty well considering the go-wide strategy and we didn't have sweepers. Just keep playing big things and keep the pressure on. Seems to do the job. 5-0 for the Abzan Mythic pile. Getting more mythic with every opponent. Walking Ballista was pretty clutch there for containing the first wave. Came down at the right time. We did draw Rex Sage just in time to contain that spy network. That's why we run 3 of them. It's going to be pretty discouraging if we couldn't draw one. Or an Anguish Unmaking for that matter. Batman is talking about Kerncraft. What do you, what is that band? Can you tell me what song that is? Maybe I referenced a song without knowing it. Can you tell me about that band? Can you tell me about that song? Bring me in on the secret. I guess we'll keep this. No white mana is bad, but we have solutions to most things that could happen to us. So hopefully draw out of this. Sage is almost never dead in duels. Well, it's always 3 mana for a 2/1 at absolute worst. Now that's really bad in some situations. But you're right. Sage can usually find something to do. Especially, I mean, just on this stream today, I declared and stoned something and then Reclamation Sage the clue right away. So even then, we find a way. What did I reference? Let's find out. Freestyler. I must have used a line or something without thinking of it or knowing what the hell I was saying. I'm not familiar with the band or the song. I hope that doesn't break your heart. And it looks like we might be getting Grixis up in here. Okie dokes. See if we can get our opponent to flinch on turn 3. Who are we up against? We are up against JCF Turbo and possibly Grixis Control. If they are a counter deck, we might have trouble, but that's interesting. You don't see Crumbling Vestige every day. And Eldrazi Sky Spawner, so it's some kind of Grixis Eldrazi? That's interesting. So do I need to kill that thing? I think I'm more worried about the Scion ramping him into something, to be honest. I don't know. What am I supposed to do here? I guess I'll take out the spawner, as if it's Eldrazi, we might see a lot of haste and annoying stuff, so life total could matter, and it could matter a lot. A white source is a welcome sight. Hopefully we can find another one, as that would be the best way to handle a smasher. Should a smasher show up? Batman says kill the token. Yeah, I debated it, but in the end I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I can take on a smasher. It would be awkward as hell. Thought Not Seer wouldn't be fun either. Nothing's going to be fun out of this, but I do think I have to value my life total. I have to draw out of this. I can throw a hissing quagmire in front of most of those things, but I can't throw one in front of the sky spawner. So it's going to be a matter reshaper. Another land is a welcome sight. I could crack this, but I'm worried that maybe they're just... I mean, you never know. People slow roll removal spells, so... Put this down first to make sure I get my clue, and then do some cracking. Okay, more land. Fun. So the only one drop I have is Fatal Push, so if I'm going to top deck that, I do it at instant speed, but we'll just pass the turn. The song I accidentally referred to is Zombie Nation. Oh, Z Nation. I was talking about the TV show. Once again, sorry if I'm breaking your heart. I was talking about the TV show Z Nation. All right, there's a flyer. Interesting, not one you see every day. Pause. Pause, please. Thank you. Okay, devoid flying. Whenever you cast a color spell, the opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. I think I'd rather take a draw right now than worry about that just yet. There's our other planes. Alright, so we can set up for some board wiping action. Alright, Advocate, throw a land at him? Or do I worry about getting ingested? This is tough. But it's really tempting to throw a land at him. Or I could just play for this outburst. Four cards in his hand and a value card on the table. I think I'm just supposed to pass. Or I guess we can throw this at him and see what he does. Yeah, we can definitely do that. He has to block with all three to sure kill it, so he's just going to block with Reshaper. So this way we get that off the battlefield. See what he gets. He gets a land. Batman says, swing, see how he blocks, use grasp if needed, and play Sylvan. The only part I'm going to disagree with on here is Sylvan. I think I'm going to set this board up for a planar outburst. So I think I'm just going to hold on to Sylvan. And is there anything I would draw that I would play? I don't think so. I won't play Gideon here if I drew it, so I think I can pass the turn. But I think I'm going to take my time. I'm going to, every turn that tracker lives, I'm going to grow it, draw a card, grow it, draw a card, as long as my life total isn't in jeopardy, and then blow things up when I need to. So he's got Lily. Curious deck. I'm not sure what's going to come out of this next. Thought Harvester triggers. He gets another 2/1. Okay. Another grasp down. Rex Sunset says in chat that Batman wants me to die like his parents. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past the Batman. I wouldn't put it past the Batman to want me to die. He's thinking. He's thinking about attacks. And he does not attack. Interesting. Oh, we'll definitely take that draw step now. Fatal push. Well, we have revolt, but I can blow up combat with this, so I'll hang on to it. We do have to wonder about Ulamog. So I don't have an exile effect. How many lands does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have to worry about Ulamog while I can't exile it. So I think I attack and see what he blocks with. If it's a Scion, then I'm not worried. If it's not a Scion, it might be time to blow stuff up. I have Declaration, but not in my hand. It's in the deck somewhere. Alright, you go after Lily. Let's see how he does this. And if he's blocking with Scion, I'm not worried about Ulamog. So we good. We good. So let's see. Liliana getting back Matter Reshaper. Not very scary. Boop boom. So now do I play an Advocate or a Fatal Push or something like that? Do I just discard a land? These aren't doing anything otherwise. And I guess I need to attack that Liliana sometime, don't I? 8 mana next turn for Outburst. Maybe planar just isn't going to happen. Maybe it's just not going to happen. Okay, let's get into Sylvan Advocate time. I think that Batman in chat just gave a very odd explanation of going to take a poop. He said he's been keeping this shit up for some time and it's time to unleash the Kraken. BRB. Okay. TMI, I suppose. Oh, so here comes the board commitment. The opponent waited till I committed an Advocate and now he's committing. Makes sense. Makes some sense. We were having a staring match, you see. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't deal with the tracker, so it just kind of got out of hand. Now, the one thing we have to worry about if we do Outburst is, can he defend his Liliana for 2 more turns and go ultimate? That could be a problem. Okay, he wants to attack. That's fine. All right, I think it's about time that we put the pressure on. I don't want to just blow up this Advocate, so let's kill some stuff. You out of the way. You get bigger. You get bigger. Let's take on Liliana. See what he wants to do. Probably not going to leave him with much of a board. He can take out our stuff with some double blocks, but not without losing Lily. So we're trading Lily for like one of our creatures. Run Brain in a Jar to cast Outburst on their end step. LMAOJK, but I've seen it. That's what Rex Sunset says. Yeah, I've done that too. It's a delight, I will not lie. Okay. Get that death touch, homie. We'll see. I love this deck. When you power up those lands, it goes ham. You want to save Lily? He does want to save Lily. Okay. Advocate down. He's going to have 2 creatures. I'm going to have a tracker. All pretty good. We still haven't drawn any of our planeswalkers. And now that Lily's on 1, I'm not worried about running out of time to get her. Ooh, this is going to get interesting. He'll probably take Outburst. Hitting that ballista was clutch, too. Does he have any removal spells in that deck? Far past time you cast one. Draw might just be unacceptable. Well, he chooses one or the other. Either one's bad for him. Takes the Outburst. He had his choice, the scalpel or the sledgehammer. Scalpel it was. The scalpel remains, the sledgehammer be gone. These grindy mid-range matchups sure take time and take a toll. We're only 5-0 with this deck, but I feel like I've been playing for 6 hours. Not as bad as Team Merge. That thing just sucks my brain into a jar. But you get what I'm saying. Alright, that's... sack you. Power up. Turn. Attack that Lily. We already triggered Revolt, sacrificing that clue. So if he's smart, he knows what's going to happen. Any kind of a double or triple block is going to get blown up by the push. But we'll see. You have to give your opponent opportunities to make mistakes. And he does, in fact, go for it. So, you should have known that was coming, but there you go. Should have seen it. Yep, gotta lay traps, or else even the predictable ones. You just never know. And I guess we'll leave this up, because that's pretty good. Your turn. As the grind continues. This tireless tracker is just on a mission, man. He wants to go all the way. Warden of... what the heck? 2/3 vigilance, add colorless. I mean, I guess it's not the worst card in the world, but it ain't the best. This, by the way, is a rank 40. This is JCF Turbo, so... Yep, Abzan Good Stuff is the deck that we're on today, D-Man. Welcome. Not everybody uses those look at your hand effects to their maximum potential. A lot of people, I would say, especially newer players and here on Xbox, don't. They look, they pick, and then they forget and don't think about what those cards are going to be used for. So I get why why in the chat Roachman's kind of appalled, shocked and appalled by that play by the opponent. He's still just gonna D up. All right. Well, he's got no cards in hand. I think we just play the 4/4 flash. So we can start killing us some planeswalkers. There's the declaration. But, I guess we have the Declaration Rex Sage combo. That's 5 mana. I guess I can threaten to kill just about anything right here. We'd have to block there. 3. Okay, so we can crack first. Yep, why not? One more? Just trying to find another option to save the declaration, but our opponent's not on Ulamog mana yet. That's a good card, but that can come out next turn. Alright, so we will put you in stone. We'll kill... I'm thinking Liliana, I don't... Saheeli Rai doesn't bother me too much. D-Man says, I hope we finally get some playable black hand hate. Yeah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Some people really like that stuff. I kind of like duels without it. I like getting to cast my spells and not having them ripped from my hand before I get to do anything. It does keep a dimension out of the game, but it's not a dimension I ever particularly liked. But that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's the right thing by any stretch of the imagination. I've always kind of liked that in duels. Your Mythic, if it's in your hand, is safe until you get to play and use it. Leybear the Heart would put an end to such things. But if we got it, that would also add a new dimension to duels that I'd have to get used to, and I wouldn't be upset. We'd have fun. It's always fun. Cards are fun, yo. Magic's fun. Everybody have fun. The Cycling Mind Rot is a card I could actually see getting used. Probably not as like a 2 or 3 of, but maybe just a 1 of. Even in a deck like this, sometimes you just want to hit their hand. Yeah, this game is still going, Batman. I'd say damn too. Alright, let's go with this. Power up the team. I think I'm at a point where I can just ignore the Saheeli Rai. He's going to power up that Foundry anyway. I think I just go for the face, and I don't... Do I want to flip my Avacyn? I guess it doesn't kill anything but my own Rex Sage, which is what he would have to trade with. Here come the Thopters. Face check. So right now, if he did block the Rex Sage to trade, all he'd do is flip my Avacyn. I'd feel really bad if he had something like a Kozilek's Return to kill my Advocate, but couldn't be that big of a deal. Yep, he's going for it. Yeah, Amonkhet's Mind Rot does cost double black to cast, which isn't perfectly ideal, but I'd probably run that in a green-black deck, or maybe an Abzan deck. Maybe you even run one in your Esper deck, too. There are times when you just want to knock out the opponent's hand when you're in a grind fest like this. And if you draw it in not those spots, you cycle it. It just takes quite a bit of deck-building discipline, I think, to put in like one-ofs of these cycling cards instead of another Mythic rare. So there's going to be some interesting deck building coming up. Batman's here to take a dump on you and your ideas, D-Man, as he just got back from taking a, as he calls it, a beast he just drowned. He's now saying 100% it won't be in tools. Oh, what a doubting Dennis you are, Batman. And he could be right. We don't know yet. We all guess. We don't know. But it's part of the fun. It's all part of the fun. Murder! Down with the Archangel. No? Down with the tireless tracker. That makes sense. Alrighty, flipsies. Damage to the player. And let's kill him. My goodness. What a grind fest this turned out to be. Against a very weird Eldrazi deck. 6 to the O. Batman, they have been pretty hesitant with including discard spells in duels. They want to keep it a fun game. Yeah. D-Man, discarding cards is definitely not fun for the recipient. Yeah, that's all true. And yet, we act like they actually have a plan. Let's not forget, they may just have no plan. It seems really intentional when we don't get something like a Transgress the Mind, but who knows? Maybe there was a dartboard. Rex says that tutelage, though. There's always a group of people who love that tutelage. Putting it in duels is probably a good move. Batman thinks it was a mistake, but it was probably a good move just to introduce people to alternate win conditions and the possibilities that exist in the Magic universe. Yonder says that getting your face polished by vehicles is not fun either. I wonder if they could go back in time if they'd still make vehicles. It was a pretty loved idea at first until everybody realized that these were basically some of the hardest to kill and most pushed creatures in history. I wonder if they could go back if they would still make vehicles or not. Or if they would just make it like they do so many things now that are where they're just hesitant about pushing things. They just make it like a limited mechanic. So maybe if our best vehicle was Cultivator's Caravan or Orville Chase Dragster, you know, something like that. If those were the best vehicles, it probably wouldn't be what it is to. Well, so we're up against the fat stack. Good news if you're a fat stack is you got a little bit of everything in there. But our hand is pretty gassy. Pretty gassy. Lots going on. Got a lot of Mythic happening. A little bit of rare and a whole lot of Mythic. A whole lot of land too. Here comes that Hinty Harby. I guess double tap land. We do have trackers in the deck. Roachman says it's gassy like him after a big plate of beans. Ha ha ha. Now, D-Man talks about the Dragster. He says Oval Chase Dragster is really annoying when they crew it with the first strike dwarf. It's annoying, but it sure is an OP. They could go back in time. I think that's what they would do, is tone it down a bit. And I think that would be reasonable. I think it's hard to get upset about a play like that. It's just not that impactful. It's like, cool, you have a 2-card combo. That's a very big first striking, trampling, hasty thing. But it does die to a ballista ping, for example. And so does the first strike dwarf that's piloting it. So that's not OP. That would just kind of be a fun thing to do. That would be a good deck box synergy, you know? As opposed to, like, here's my smuggler's copter to go with my selfless spirit to make it indestructible and my depala to make it bigger. Tap that. And Kalitas you. Seems good. Nighthawk, welcome. Haven't seen you today, but he says, I see I made it for the 100 card stack. It's like you know, it was like they were listening, dude. This is one of your disciples, Nighthawk. He plays 100 card mythics, except it's 100 card commons. 100 card deck box. Or I think we've got an uncommon over here. And yeah, the top end of the curve. Alright, we got some O2s to do battle with. The champ is here! It was a baby seal massacre, but no fat stacks. Yeah, the fat stacks are new to the party. Our opponent is metagaming correctly, though. He's keeping his stuff out of Liliana range. Oh wait, it's till next turn, so I can do that on the next end step if I want to kill his little Eldrazi buddy. Alright, let's show me the Baral's expertise. I know what he needs right here. Curve right into that Baral's expertise. Batman says a 100 card deck that's all commons makes sense because you can run 4 of each, but it's still 100 cards, Batman. Are you mad? Not to mention, if the cards are common, they're probably horrible. But what do you mean by make sense? This is a whole other level of sense making. What's that O2? It's an enlightened maniac. Exactly, Nighthawk's got it. Bounding Crassus, what do you want to tap? I think you want to tap that Kalitas. Thinking about it. Having a good old contemplation. Our opponent has managed to put 5 bodies on the table, one of them being an O2. And their choice with Crassus? Nothing. Okay. If he had tapped down Kalitas, at least he could have attacked with the Mangler. The clock ticks on. Okay, this seal. This poor seal. This shall have to be a proper clubbing. It's a good old 100 card, run the clock down kind of deck. Probably reading every card a little more. McMornin 069. Do I have somebody like that in my chat? Nope. Just curious. Alright. What we doing? Probably bellowing. Bellow, Lily, Emblem. I wish I could end this game faster, but I don't think I can. Do I even care about that enchantment? I don't think I do. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with all that with energy, but he does have a turtle. I think we just get the 4/5. We have 2 man lands on the battlefield. And let's tag the... I think we can still hit you. I think that's fine. Alright. Own it. Let's see what you can put together. Turtle priority target. Maybe not. Batman asks, is the amount of Xbox players so low that you are facing rank 1s? It's not the amount of players being low, Batman. It's that matchmaking doesn't even try. Yeah. Like, matchmaking doesn't just matches you randomly. It doesn't even care about the rank of your opponent. For some reason, they just can't seem to make that happen on Xbox. So, that seems to be the issue. Here comes larger than life. About to get real. Going for that one. Good choice. Misplay. Turtle is still alive. Thanks, Kylo Ren. Thanks for being there for me, buddy. All right. If he goes for my life total, I'm just gonna take it. You gotta attack. What is this? What are you doing? No, this isn't right. Roachman says he faced 7 that were above rank 30 in a row last night, on Xbox, I'm guessing, and it was fun. It is fun. When that happens, it's really fun. I talked about that earlier, like really early in the stream, I said that, and then, of course, we started getting 1 ranks as soon as I said something about it. We were on a good streak for a minute there. All right, Turtle. This Turtle, man, dead. There, dead. Dead. Get this Turtle out of my face. Are you happy, Nighthawk? Are you happy now? Was that adequate? Was that adequate for you? Are you not entertained? Oh, man. Let's get our 5 life before we reduce his life total to rubble. Nighthawk says not till you get the other 3 turtles out of his deck. Give me time. It's 100 cards. This takes work. So D-Man reminded Wizards that there's no actual matchmaking on Xbox and it's a big problem. Wizards responded that they are still looking into it. They have now been looking into it for, it'll be 2 years in July. 2 years. My hopes are not high. Alright, so we got a pair of guys over there trying to gang up on our boy. Do we care? Yeah, I care. I like that creature. I don't want him to die. And since we have another ballista, I might have just kept the ballista around if we didn't have another one, but since we do... Stainless, Nighthawk says that we should be grateful that we even find opponents. That's true. It's been worse. Xbox matchmaking has been worse. There was a time I couldn't stream more than a couple games in a row without the whole thing coming to a crashing halt. And then you'd have to restart, and then you'd join back up, and it wouldn't work again, and you'd have to restart, and it wouldn't work again, and you'd have to restart. And each time I would start the stream, and each time I would have to restart the stream, and my average stream was under 20 minutes. Now we're back to our good old, what are we on, 157-minute streams. And I love it. I'm so happy about it. Liliana emblem goes nuts since we got all those Kalitas zombies. So... I'm going to be putting this one to rest quickly. Goblin in the Fridge says play Steam, problem fixed. Yep, that's a great solution for a lot of people, and I believe that Steam has the most players, so that is a solution most people take on, but I do not have Windows. So, and I'm not going to run it on my Mac either. Never. So don't ask me to. But as soon as they make it for Mac, on the Mac version of Steam, I will gladly play on Steam. But that's all I'm waiting for. And it's not gonna happen before then, no matter what you tell me about it. Nighthawk brings up the drama of losing the right-click button. Yep, you guys have it rough. Breathe in, breathe out. Our opponent has figured out how to make energy with their era of invention and how to crew their vehicle. Guess that's something. TikTok. Just watching that timer go, man. Just watching that timer go. At least I've got you guys to keep me entertained. Thank you. Thank you for hanging with me through things like this. There's speculation over what will happen to Steam now, if right click will be restored but left click will be gone. Siege Dragon says, I'm on Xbox because my PC can't run duels. Dragon, I swear you were an iOS player. You're on Xbox now? Oh, maybe that's why you were telling me. Oh, now you're, so your comment makes more sense to me now. I thought for sure you were an iOS player. Maybe I have weird things in my head. Don't mind me. Block. There. Dead. Yeah, so dead. Let's end this charade. Yeah, that's another thing. In our last expansion on Steam, Unbridled Growth was an unlimited, was a endless mana combo for a while there before they patched it. So, will we get anything that exciting in Amonkhet? Probably not. It's our version of them printing cards that are too good, I guess. It's our version of the Saheeli combo. Roachman says play Outburst. How about I don't? How about I don't? Oh, man. What was it? I think, who was it who had a video playing against the unlimited combo? The actual video where it went off. Somebody on YouTube had one, right? I thought they did. I know Atma had one where he didn't know what the heck the opponent was doing, and then he crushed them, but he said in text that he put that afterwards that happened. But I thought somebody did the combo on video. It happened to me on iOS. I got comboed on iOS once. It happened to Thalona? I would believe that. Bad stuff just happens to that poor guy. Bad things come for Thalona. He's a big punching bag. He takes it like a champ, to be totally honest and fair. He is a good guy. All right, we're at 7-0. We are going for 8-0. It's because of Canada. Well, you know, don't want to be a stereotyper, but yeah, it's probably because of Canada. This hand is so good, but no green means it's probably right to send it away. This hand is bad, but we have all the colors, but we do have to draw some dual lands. We have to. This is going to be one of those cases where I put my lands out and try to top deck some more and figure out what I'm supposed to fetch. But right now it's looking like white. Okay, not a land, but more white cards, making my... I may just have to turn this into a mono white type of hand, but we'll see. We'll see. Looks likely. Okay, we'll get another draw here. Please give me a dual land. Another forest. Not pretty, but I think... Well, we'll see what our opponent does. They leave up counterspell mana. Do we just Gideon? Do we? Oh, now we just Gideon. Okay. White and white. I don't want them to fix upside down Gideon. How about sideways Ormondal? Or if you saw one of my earlier streams this week, how about the druid of the cowl that floats in the air? How about that? Should they fix those things? I think those are all pretty funny to me. All right, let's go Gideon. Let's get it sideways, yo. Gideon's been here all night. Been here all day. And boom, got him going side to side. Telling time. We've got the always watching with no creatures into the telling time. Maybe it's a spirit deck. That would probably be the best case for our opponent right now, is if they had some spirits to flash in. Roachman thinks the floating druid was sweet. Batman is talking to Nighthawk. My reaction time is set into second to none. Batman says he has that tattooed on his arm in Latin. And Nighthawk says he got Steam Showdown 5 champ tattooed across his forehead. Oh my goodness. Drew put in Sideways Ormondal to screw with us. It is... Sideways Ormondal is a little tilting, I've got to tell you. When you make Ormondal and then you're like, wait a minute, why is it tapped? You kind of think you read it wrong for a second. Alright, get in there, boys. Let's try for a quick smashing and bashing here. Avacyn, right on the curve here. For having all basics this game, we're pretty lucky. Usually an all basics draw with this deck is a very bad draw. Very awkward to cast things. Nighthawk says that Drew from Wizards is a Super Friends player, and that explains everything wrong with duels. It well may. Alright, do we spike Avacyn? I think so. There is a chance our opponent's going to use Blessed Alliance or something evil of that nature. And I'd rather lose Avacyn than Gideon. Gideon's just hard to deal with. Linvala does nothing right now, but maybe we'll want it. You know, he could have a flash card though, so let's put this out there so we have Grasp available. There's the flare. Thought that could happen. So, sorry, Avacyn. Your time is up. Gideon's time is now. He's just so much harder to kill. And we're just going to spike Linvala. We're not going to get value out of her anytime soon. Some trash talk between a few of my people in chat trying to figure out who's the best at being roaches. So somebody whose gamertag is Roachman on Xbox is challenging someone else whose Twitch name is Roachman. There can only be one Roachman. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You tell him. You guys find your titles and you battle. Bets are about whether or not Drew from Wizards of the Coast is the net decker. Who knows? Alright. Well, we can't play Linvala. I think we play this ballista, though. I think that's a little better than grasping at the mage, and attacking with Gideon might just get it Celestial Flared, since we've already seen our opponent likes those cards, and they might have a handful of them. Roachman says that was my son being an idiot. Oh boy, it's on. Alright, so you got a 4/5 Reflector Mage. Good on you. What are you going to do with him? He attacks. Do I want the double block? Interesting. How good is Ballista? Meh. My opponent is at 8. Makes him pretty good. Attack. He attacks my face. Yeah, that is fine. You can attack my face from this spot. I am happy about that. What else you got? Better make it snazzy. Declaration. Target. Yep. Okay. Do I want the clue or do I want to shoot him? I guess I shoot him because I think I can kill him. It's close. If he has another Celeste Flare, yeah, I can kill him through that. Just gotta get Gideon through. I could planar outburst and swing with Gideon, but let's do the deck in stone play because the planar outburst play doesn't play around another celestial flare, and where there's one in duels, there's usually more. Pause. Yep. There was another. He stays alive. But he can't make me sack. Alright. I guess we'll pose like we have a fatal push. Save the wilds for end step. In fact, maybe I'm supposed to let it sit, but we'll see. See what he does. Then see if we can draw up a scenario where I'd want my wilds cracked. Yeah, top decking a land, I could awaken it. Meh. Down to 1. And a long road home takes out the token, but he is out of gas in hand. So we'll crack that. He's out of here. It's 8-0. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Everybody rolling, rolling, rolling. Something, something. More rolling stuff. And Biscuit, like end of 90s, early 2000s, doing some song about rolling, rolling, rolling. And let's see. I'll definitely cut it off if I get to 10-0. But we're reaching the end. I'm wearing down. I'm running out of gas. I've been at it for many, many hours today. So, we'll see how many more I can do. But Abzan just killing it as I thought it would. And right now, in great shape to take a stab at the best, and we get ice cold drinks again. Let's see if he wants to play this game. Yep, fine. Not great, but fine. We'll probably be right off for some black mana to get these available soon. Our opponent has a bunch of those sacrifice and attacking creature effects. We saw Reflector Mage, we saw Always Watching. I didn't see much else for creatures, though. Very few creatures. Oh, interesting. It just said it was my turn for a while there. Salty Kylo Ren, aka Rex Sunset, says, "This poor man, part 2." And he is he gonna stall us? I hope not. That wouldn't be friendly. Okay, he's just picking his land. Let's go get the black. Nice. That'll do. I guess we want white. Tails wants to know, why is he a salty Kylo Ren? And Rex Sunset is salty Kylo Ren because that's his gamer tag on Xbox, as I learned a few days ago. Yep. So not everybody has the same tag on Twitch as they do on Xbox, although most of the time they do, because that's the only way you can stream, is to link it up that way. But yep, some people have different tags, different names. Opponent trying to catch me with my Evolving Wilds pants down. What's going on, dude? You can do it. Alright, let's draw more land. Next turn I'll be begging for a white land, but since we've got this, we're just gonna go for it. We've got 2 grasps to defender, which can tag creatures up to 5 power thanks to Lily's ability. So, seems likely that this hand could get Lily to an ultimate, which is good because it doesn't do much else, not without drawing more land. Alright. Nighthawk. Skeptical of turn 3 Lily's ability to win the game. Yeah, a planeswalker on the play on turn 3 is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. It's what I'm most hating about Gideon of the Trials, is that we have our 4th 3-mana planeswalker in the game. 5 if you count the new Nissa. It's ridiculous. It's like so many games that aren't really games, because they're just so hard to beat in that situation. Like right now, what can he really do? His hand could be all counter spells and removal, you know, great interaction stuff, maybe even has some planeswalkers of his own, and it won't really matter. Can't touch that. That's why we need Cast Out. Cast Out would be great. I'm just gonna sit. I'm not even gonna play Ayli. I'm gonna protect against a flash threat. Just gonna try to run up Lily, because otherwise this hand might be too mana screwed to do anything. I was actually prepared, like I was thinking of Thunderclap Wyvern, to be honest. Alright, do I want to kill that thing? Probably. Yeah, it can wipe out a zombie army when I get there. Let's just point this and see what happens. Alright, double white, can play Gideon. Do I even want to do it? He didn't have the flash thing last turn, I'm just gonna go for it. Because even if he did, just letting Gideon sit around, and he's still gonna die. Even if he takes Lily off emblem time. Thalia. Okay. We know his deck has Blessed Alliance and Celestial Flare, and it may play all of both of those cards, so we're not going to walk into that. Ain't going to happen. We're just going to fire up the emblem. That gives push revolt, so I think we'll go after Thalia. See what he wants to do. Convolute. Okay. Fine. Wasn't too worried about it. I guess now we can plus and get in there since he tapped his mana. And then hopefully next turn we get the emblem. Haha. We will have a... Yeah, we'll just have to sweat him removing our 2/2, but it's all good. Either way, the counter swing is immense. Four cards in hand. I'm sure at least one of them is a Celestial Blessed Alliance type. Here comes Always Watching. Which makes your attack totally free. Now, how much white did he have? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So he had to tap that way, so He could still have Celestial Flare in his hand. You had a free attack there because of your vigilance, but guess he missed it. Da 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 da. Check ya. You got another counter spell? Almost missed it. Nope, guess not. Send in the team. Blessed Alliance, I bet. Nope, guess not. Get out there, Nissa. Unsubstantiates the card, okay. Yep. Not gonna do a lot of good when the board is like this. Let's go zombos. Alright, I have decided this is going to be the last game. My throat's a bit dry and I'm a bit tired, so... There's the planar outburst! I'll take some life. Opponent says not dead yet. If we throw Gideon at him and he has the Blessed Alliance... Oh, he has the Unsubstantiate, so we know that's not going to work. Alright. Alright, you want to live another turn? You want to play? We can play. That's alright. So it's one of those always watching planar outburst decks. Kind of just, I would say, good blue-white cards, if I had to guess a theme. Or at least the best our opponent can find in their collection right now. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Let's throw the 3/3s at him. Make him solve. Solve for 3. Yep, here comes Alliance Unsubstantiate. He lives another turn. I'll sacrifice the knight because the zombies keep mass producing off the emblem. Celestial Flare. Okay, so he's going to go to 4. Avacyn Flip would take him to 1, so it's not lethal. Oh well. I was thinking about flashing an Avacyn with the flare on the stack so that it saw the creature die so it would flip, but that would bring him to 1. Not lethal. Only doing that if it's lethal. Alright, let's see if you can do that for another turn. Runa. Right on. You are the man. Alright. That's gotta be it. Oh, forgot to make Gideon token, AP. Dude, you've been watching this whole time and you chime in just for that. You got me. You got me. Like an arrow through the heart, dog. You got me. Fortunately, we somehow managed to win anyway. Dude! 9-0 Abzan. I predicted this deck would do well. It's definitely a ladder deck. Is a super ladder deck. When you're kind of just raw power mid-range with good removal spells, you have the flexibility to break up a lot of the more not quite as tuned and not quite as strong decks on ladder. You break up a few of their synergies with the removal, you play over the top threats that they can't deal with. So I did expect that most of the decks that would do well would be mid-range decks, and right now they haven't let me down. Dimir Midrange, 12-2, is the leader still. Timur T-Merge. That is sort of a mid-range deck. It can do a little bit of everything, really, but that's at 11-2. And here is Abzan. It has gone to 9-0. And now that, so we will pick it up from the 9-0 Abzan deck next time on Quest for the Best. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your Saturday night. I'll see you around.